Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Avengers, issue number 689. This is No Surrender, part 15 of 16, although curiously, the story ends here. So there's a conclusion in the next issue, which will come out next Wednesday, but this story is, as far as I'm concerned, it's all but complete. This is gorgeous. Okay, I'm also going to say something very interesting. This may be, well, this is absolutely one of my favorite Avengers stories ever. And this may very well be like, it can't be my favorite, but right now, after having just read it and opening it up again for the second time now to go through it, it's hard to remember like some of the other really, good stories that came with this. I mean, like, dude, Kree Skrull War and all that, like, yes, it was amazing. The Korvac saga, amazing. You know what I'm saying? The Siege, Avengers Siege, and then the Assault on Olympus, amazing. Like, there's just so many great Avengers stories. I am personally putting this in that league. There's some people who are going to say blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Blah, blah, blah to you. This was a fantastic story. This is amazing. This starts with pure desperation. Everybody's just going through the cycle trying to rescue people, And by the way, if you have a hard time recognizing who is saving who in Nevada, that's Ben Reilly, the Spectacular Spider-Man. You can go and check out his... Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, excuse me. He's got his own comic book. Go and check it out. I like to review that one. Peter David, he's awesome. But this comic, dude, like Living Lightning, excuse me, just Lightning now. I like Living Lightning. What's the matter with that name? Lightning kicked some serious butt in this, man. And it wasn't by kicking anybody, in the teeth. It wasn't by knocking anybody out. It wasn't by taking on this guy or that guy. It was by following the example of Simon Williams. And Simon Williams is praised in this one too, which is pretty good, all right? Simon Williams goes up to the Challenger, all right? This big, massive guy who just backhanded the Hulk and one-shot him into orbit. Yeah, that was the previous issue. Goes up to him, he's like, listen, you want to talk, we'll talk. You got a grievance, I'm willing to talk to you. But if you're just some bully who's going to push around my friends, then you're going to have to start with me. Well, Challenger takes him out. Literally, like, Simon Williams almost dies again, as best as he could die. His energy form, his ionic energy form almost goes incorporeal again. Well, the guys go and save him and whatnot, but like everybody else jumps in like, you moron, don't you recognize? Yeah, he's the strongest of us, but it's not because he was going to be able to physically beat you into unconsciousness, and you're just not smart enough to recognize that, Challenger. Wow, I loved that. I loved that. I loved that. See, these guys, Mark Waid, Al Ewing, Jim Zub, the writers of this comic book, they get something that a lot of people don't get, okay? And people like Charles Soule get it. People like Ed Brisson get it. Say I can name a bunch of them. I'm not going to just start naming names, but like just some of these people who pop into my mind, they get it. They understand how to make a character look strong. Do they always make a character look strong? Each person is an individual. What do you want? But they know how to make a character look strong. You don't have the character talk about, oh, I am the strongest one there is, blah, 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 blah. What does that mean? What does that mean? Like your grammar is really off. As an English professor, I could say, your grammar is really off. But no, you have other people praise these people. Say you go walking up and say, oh, I got the, I've got the best words. I've got the best education, saying I am the best, everything I do, tremendous success, big league. No, that's not how you do it. You have other people that say those things about you. You don't say other people are saying those things. And I'm not going to turn this into something political, but like, just look at the comic books, man. I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do ain't very nice. That was always really cool, but it got old. But when you can have somebody else say, you know what? He's the best there is at what he does. What he does just isn't very nice. That's when you can actually put some heart, some feeling, and some emphasis to those words. And that really comes through so many times in this comic book. This one comic book, which it should be about 6 issues alone. There's so much happening in here. There is so much action, so much. I don't want to say so much dialogue because that comes off the wrong way. There's so much content in here. This dude, Lightning, comes up with this idea because he's got to go up and he's one-on-one with the Grandmaster. Yes, Grandmaster gets to keep his name, but he's realizing just how psychotic this guy really is. Like, so this is what true sociopathy is. People say it's about Riri Williams. No, Grandmaster is sociopathic in this. He comes off and he's just like, yeah, all you guys are going to die. I could save you, but why? You know what I'm saying? Bye. So he's like, are you kidding me? Like, your daughter's down there. Are you going to save her? No. You don't care about her? No. So he realizes there's no way to get through to this guy. Or is there? Now, he could turn into lightning and just blast the guy. But you know what? Like if you've seen a lot of my reviews, you know that fairly often I'll complain. I'm so sick and tired of, like the Peter Parker, the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old. Sorry, Dan Slott says he's got the emotional maturity of a 15-year-old. I think Dan Slott's giving him too much credit. Peter Parker has always, in my opinion, had very low emotional quotient. Saying very low EQ. You say the wrong thing to him and he says something else and you stick with your guns, he's going to punch you in the face. And if you're a super, he's going to punch you really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who Spider-Man is. He's the guy, we've got to go and do this. No, wait, Spider-Man, you got to listen to me. No! Boom! You got to stop, whatever. That's the kind of thing that turns me off of a Spider-Man comic book. And Dan Slott is not the only guy. You go back to Steve Ditko. So like, that's what he does, all right? That is the essence of what Spider-Man is. Living Lightning. I'm calling him Living Lightning. Deal with it. Living Lightning in this, I feel better. I feel exonerated. So he says, man, I could just turn into lightning and blast this guy, but he's kind of an elder of the universe. What am I going to do? He says, okay, here's what I'm going to do instead. Hey, you ever play a game of poker? Now, I'm not going to go back to my issue 1 in this run, but I distinctly remember Lightning talking about he plays poker on his off nights, like with his boyfriend or something like that. If I'm just making that memory up, okay, fine. But I get a very distinct feeling that these 3 writers put that in there for a good reason. Now, usually writers will do something like that, and it's like, okay, clearly this is going to be the thing that finishes everything in the end, blah, 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 blah. But no. I didn't even think about that until this. And I'm like, hey, wait a second, didn't he? So he's like, hey, man, you want to play a game of poker? 1 hand, 2 cards each. That's it, baby. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So sit down. They're trying to work with what they can do with the cards. This was probably the best game of poker I've ever seen. This is great. And all I'm going to say is that Lightning does win. This was good, man. This is an amazing comic book. This is the best one in the series. The best one in this run, at the very least. And I don't know what they're going to be doing with No Surrender. With, what do you call it? I can never remember the name. Fresh Start. I'm sorry. It's a stupid name. Fresh Start. It's a fresh start. Sounds like something I would do with Saran Wrap, for crying out loud. But look, don't mind my voice. Sorry. 42 years old. I'm just going through puberty, apparently. Anyway, allergies. Twice a year I get them. So, look, at the end of this, like the resolution, the spell that Wanda summons is like the epitome of cheesy. And you know where it's going. But when the final words are said, you can't help but to be filled with pride, with you swell with, like, this is what it means to be a comic book reader, dude. Look, there are people out there who claim to love comic books, and I'm not going to get into these channels, these SJW channels, saying, oh, SJW, this, but I'm going to state this. All these people who want to sit here and say that they love their comic books, but they can't read something like this. And I'm doing this review before most people are even getting their hands on this comic book. This is Tuesday night when I'm reading this, dude, all right? I got pull. I should let somebody else say I got pull, right? Let somebody else say, Professor Bill's got pull. Anyway, so I'm reading this on Tuesday night. There are no other reviews for this comic book right now, all right? But I know that, I see this, and I see the things that people like to nitpick about, and I know there are going to be some people who are going to say some stupid things about this comic book. Sorry, brother. Sorry, sister. I am not standing with you. I stand alone if I have to. This is what it means to be a comic book fan, all right? I'm going to quote you something from the DC Comics when they were talking about Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis said this, all right? He says this. He says, adults live in a world where they read a comic book and try and see how can this be real. But kids get it. Because kids can look at this and say, what do you mean, how can Superman fly? Because it's not real. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And that is what it means to be a comic book fan. It's this world of being a freaking adult and having a 9 to 5. I don't have a 9 to 5. I have my teaching jobs online, and then I've got this. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and raising my kids. But like, my point is, whatever you're doing in life, that's the reality. That's going out there and having to answer to somebody, whether it's to your customer base or to your students or to your viewers, or always answering to somebody. But this, the only person you're answering to is to yourself. Let it go and just have some fun with the comic book. This is absolutely my Amazeballs pick of the week. I love this comic book, guys. And I saw some people saying, even on my own channel, that the artwork is bad. Sorry, dude. Where's the title page here? Pepe Larez. Sorry, man. No, it's not. How do you say that? How do you look? How do you look at some of this art? How do you look at some of this and complain about this? How do you say this is not good? What part of this is not good? Oh, yeah, by the way, seeing the two Wasps team up together, oh, man, come on. How do you ask for more than... There is so much good in this comic book. Damn. I read this comic book, and I can't help but to say, this is the kind of stuff that makes me happy to be a comic book reader. If you don't get that, brother, I don't know why you're still reading comic books. I love you guys. I love all you guys. Man. Some of these other guys, though, you just got to let go of whatever the heck it is that you're holding on. Maybe loosen the butt cheeks, let that stick slide out a little bit, because this is an amazing comic book. This is an amazing story. I don't know what they're going to give us for issue 16, the finale of this story, but man, I can't wait. I can't wait. And all I'm saying about Fresh Start, that dumb name, is who, you know, working on Fresh Start, Jason Aaron, I love you, man. You did some amazing stuff on Thor, the Mighty Thor. You brought tears to my eyes, you onion ninja bastard, you. But dude, you got a whole lot to live up to after a story arc like this. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.